I never knew words could cut deeper than betrayal itself, until the night my wife called me a mistake. It happened at a dinner party hosted by one of her close friends. A dozen of us sat around a long oak table, soft music floating through the room, wine glasses gleaming under the light. Laughter filled the air, stories of love, and how everyone had met their person. Then someone, half jokingly, asked her if she ever regretted marrying me. She laughed and said, "Maybe I rushed into it. Sometimes it takes years to realize you chose wrong." The table went silent for a heartbeat before the awkward laughter returned. I smiled too, pretending I was part of the joke. But inside, something quietly broke. I looked at her, the woman I built my life around, the one who once told me I was her calm in every storm, and I couldn't find an ounce of warmth left in her eyes. After dinner, I offered to drive us home. She said she'd ride with her friends instead. That drive back alone felt endless. The silence was so thick it ached. When I got home, I sat in the living room, still wearing that hollow smile I kept on all evening. The clock ticked. My phone stayed quiet. She came home after midnight, her perfume laced with laughter that didn't belong to me. I asked softly, "Did you mean what you said tonight?" She shrugged. "You're overreacting. It was just a joke." A joke. That's what she called the moment she stripped my dignity away in front of everyone we knew. I didn't argue. I only said, "All right." Those two words became my armor, my way of not breaking, even when every part of me wanted to. Days blurred together. Silent breakfasts. Polite smiles that never reached our eyes. She started staying late at work. I started pretending not to notice. 8 years married. 8 years of shared rent, shared bills, shared dreams of family she always said it wasn't the right time for. And I believed her. I always did. But after that night, something shifted. She stopped wearing her ring, started guarding her phone. One evening, I came home early and found her in the kitchen with a man I didn't know. He had that effortless confidence of someone used to being wanted, and she looked happy, genuinely happy. When she noticed me, her smile vanished. "Ethan, this is Ryan. We work together," she said. He reached out a hand. I didn't take it. "Nice to meet you," I replied and went upstairs. That night, she slept in the guest room. The next morning, she told me, "You're making things uncomfortable." I wanted to ask, "For who?" But no words came. That's when I realized she had already left me emotionally. I was the only one still trying to save something that was already gone. Days melted into routine until one evening she said, "Ethan, maybe we should take a break." A break, as if love were something you could pause. I asked, "Is there someone else?" She hesitated, then said, "Maybe it's not someone else. Maybe it's just not you anymore." That line hit like a slow-motion explosion. I didn't plead or shout. I only said, "If that's what you want, I'll make it easy." She packed a bag that night. No tears, no goodbye, just silence. For weeks, I lived in a house that still smelled like her. Every corner whispered her name. The mug by the sink, the shampoo in the shower, the photo on the shelf. I kept telling myself she'd come back. But deep down, I knew. People don't leave because they stop loving you. They leave when they stop respecting you. A month later, she reached out, not by call or text, but by email. "We should talk. I think it's time to finalize things." Not divorce, finalize. Like we were dissolving a contract. I stared at that message for hours before replying. "Sure, let me know when." We met at a small cafe near her office. She looked incredible. New haircut, bold lipstick, and a confidence that didn't belong to the woman I once knew. "I didn't mean to hurt you that night," she said. "But we both know we haven't been happy for a while." I nodded. "Maybe, but unhappiness doesn't excuse humiliation." She sighed. "You always take things too seriously. That's part of the problem. You feel too deeply." That hurt more than anything else. For years, I thought feeling deeply was a weakness. Now I realized it was the most human thing about me. I asked, "Was it him?" She looked away. "It's complicated." That was enough. Complicated meant yes. I stood, left money for the coffee, and said, "Good luck fixing what you broke. We never spoke again. Weeks later, I drove to our old cabin by the lake, the place we used to call our escape. It hadn't been touched in months. Dust on the windows, stillness in the air. Everything inside was exactly as we'd left it. The faded blankets, her mug with a faint lipstick stain, our smiling photo on the mantel. I stood there, staring at it, realizing how far we drifted from the people in that picture. And then, for the first time, I cried, not for losing her, but for losing the version of myself that believed love could fix everything. I stayed there for days, disconnected from the world. I cooked, slept, wrote, and somewhere in that silence, I found peace. I wasn't angry at her anymore. I was angry at myself for waiting so long to choose me. A week later, she texted, "Can we talk before you make any legal decisions?" I think I made a mistake. For a moment, my heart raced. Then I remembered that dinner, the laughter, her calling me the wrong choice. So I replied, "You were right that night. You did make the wrong choice. But I'm finally fixing it." A few days later, one of her friends called, said my wife had been asking if I was seeing anyone. I wasn't, but I told her to say, "Tell her I'm doing fine," because for once, I truly was. I started running again, eating better, sleeping without the ache. I wasn't happy yet, but I was free. A month after the divorce, I got invited to another dinner party. Same group, same table. I almost didn't go, but something told me I should, not to prove anything, but to close the circle. When I walked in, she was there. She looked smaller somehow, dimmer, like the light had gone out. The room went still for a moment. I smiled politely, nodded, and joined another conversation. Later, someone asked, half joking, "So, Ethan, how's single life treating you?" I smiled, peaceful. Sometimes the wrong person teaches you the right kind of silence. She looked at me from across the table, eyes glistening, but I didn't look away. For once, I didn't know her reaction. As I left, she whispered, "You really changed." I said, "No, I just stopped apologizing for who I am." The drive home was quiet, but this time the silence wasn't heavy. It was healing. Some mistakes don't need fixing. They just need to end.